70 years.
And Marshall, thank you for joining us alongside Eric. So I stepped in my car this morning, 52 degrees.
Yeah, I barely needed a jacket today. It wasn't too bad.
I know, I almost took my jacket off, but I actually wore my winter jacket in because by the time I get out of work, it's a little cold.
Yeah, different story. Yeah, this morning is about as warm as it gets. As we head throughout the afternoon, a much different story. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. First off, a look at the current conditions. We are sitting with temperatures in the 40s and 50s outside right now. Even some rain showers reported out in Rochester, Buffalo, Binghamton, and Watertown right now. So rain is not that widespread. We can see it here on the Yorkville Battery live radar. Matter of fact, I want to go back a few steps. I want to show a bit more regarding the wind speed. I forgot I had these ahead of time here. Look at the winds. Keep in mind the winds this morning are going to primarily affect areas south of the Mohawk Valley. This is a strong south and southeast wind. Wind gusts as high as 37 miles an hour in Syracuse, 40 miles per hour in Ithaca, and 41 in Rochester. We were forecasting between 40 and 50 mile per hour gusts in areas, as we mentioned, just south of the Mohawk Valley. Now back to the radar. Again, rainfall not the main story early this morning, but it will be in a couple of hours. We turn our attention to the west. There is that front. You kind of see that line well defined there. And notice on the back side of it, we got some wet snow showers. So this is a big change in temperature as we head toward this evening. So what a different story this morning will be like until when we hit sunset. Temperatures falling from the 50s this morning down below freezing by 4 and 6 p.m. So the cool down will not be very sharp, but it will be noticeable. In fact, we're going to see that rain switch over to a rain-snow mix. However, this is, again, an elevation-based system. When it comes to accumulations, we'll have a look at who sees the most and how the weekend is also shaping up, coming up in a few minutes. Callahan?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, Utica.
Welcome back. Happy Friday. Well, today feeling a whole lot different than in mornings past. We're talking 40s and 50s to start your day, but it's not lasting too long. We'll have a look at what you can expect heading out the door today in your forecast in a minute. First off, current conditions, as I mentioned, upper 40s, low 50s, mostly cloudy skies. Southeast wind of 15 miles an hour. That's in the lower elevations. You head into the hills south, those winds are gusting pretty good, between 35 and 45 miles an hour. Roadways this morning obviously are looking pretty clear. Yes, they are wet with that snow melt, but as we progress throughout the day, we're going to see those temperatures cool down into the 30s, eventually 20s, and you could see the potential for some slick spots on untreated surfaces. Live look at the radar. A few scattered showers. Again, the rain isn't as widespread just yet, but you are west. That's what that rain is really starting to kick in. But either way, you can see here travel impacts. Heavy rain and wind takes place between 8 and 9 a.m. today. That band moves to the area. Then some afternoon snow showers, windy conditions. Not as widespread, though. Lake effect north sets up this evening, and then we'll quiet down as we head into tomorrow. But again, today we start out at 50. Cooling down into 30 degrees in about 8 or so hours. So we'll have a look at what we can expect weather-wise, not only throughout the day today, but also throughout the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Callahan?
The Assemblyman in the 100...
Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody, on this Friday. We have a lot to get to, so let's jump right into it. We'll begin with a live look at downtown Utica right now, where, again, conditions are warm. Yes, a little bit damp, obviously, with a few scattered rain showers, and that snow melt continuing. Look at that. We have completely bare grass out on the sidewalks there next to the Nexus Center early this morning, and the temperatures today, you can see here, they peak in the morning. We actually cool down throughout the day in the wake of that cold front. And beyond that, of course, those feels-like temperatures of those winds are going to plummet into the teens by 5 and 6 p.m. So you can see quite the difference in weather as we head toward the second half of the day today. Wind gusts. Let's talk about that first. They're going to be strongest both south of the Mohawk Valley and north of the Mohawk Valley in the areas in purple here. This takes place this morning. Once the front passes between 8 and 9 a.m., the winds weaken a little bit. They return again as we head into Friday, this evening and tonight. You can see here between 35 and 45 mile per hour wind gusts. These are from the west, so the Mohawk Valley will see these strong winds. Then it does quiet down again overnight, and the winds return a little bit, mainly in those hilltops. Lighter winds, not as impactful throughout the day Saturday. So we're tracking this front barreling through the northeast. In the wake of it, there's much cooler weather in the backside of it. In fact, it'll be cooling down rather quickly. It won't last too long, though. See that cold air? It recedes back to the north. That's why we're not as concerned about this, because once it blasts the northeast with some cold air and strong winds, it quickly exits, and we'll be seeing some more impactful weather, more dependent on location as we head into Sunday. So let's dive into the Skycast. All right, timing it out right here. This is around 6:30 this morning, a few scattered showers. By 9 a.m., there's that front right there. Heavy rain, maybe rumble of thunder, some strong winds. We're in the upper 40s, low 50s. Wet snow starts to work in the hilltops. It's wet snow by 11 a.m. We're in the 30s, as you can see here. Then a little bit of a dry slot in this afternoon, returning again to some scattered rain, snow showers in the evening hours, and then we're going to see the arrival of some lake effect north sweeping south overnight after midnight. Then it quiets down Saturday. We're going to see that cloud layer recede a little bit before returning again Sunday, and then Sunday's lake effect looks a little bit more impactful in terms of snow showers to the north, sweeping south as we head into the evening. In terms of measurable snowfalls, you can see here elevations play a key role. If you live in the Tug Hill area or in the higher elevations in the Adirondacks, that's where some of that heavy snow will seem to stick. So your 7-day forecast, we've got our first day of winter Sunday, high of 34 with that lake effect. And we have a snow system on Tuesday. They might bring us a white Christmas for Thursday. Now, it's not a big system, but it's enough to maybe coat the grass and maybe keep it a little bit snowy for Santa arriving. So.
Mother Nature's playing a little bit of a trick on us.
I know, right? It's crazy. Warm up, cool down, snow, you name it. So definitely keeping us busy over here.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Eric. All right, the time is now 5:20, still ahead on Sunrise. Thank you for joining us. I'm Callahan Marshall in for Gary this morning. All right, so we started off really warm, but we're about to get really cold. Here's Storm Team meteorologist Eric Gage. Eric, I don't know what jacket to put on this morning. I'm very confused.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it depends on, if you want to stay cool this morning or stay warm this evening, because we have a massive temperature shift. Let's start out with a look at what's going on. First off, with the winds, because the winds are the key here and what's bringing those temperatures. You have a strong south wind. Anytime we get a warm day in this time of year, it's usually accompanied by a strong south wind. We can see it mainly impacting the hills south of the Mohawk Valley. Wind gusts between 24 and as high as 41 miles an hour so far this morning. 53 mile per hour gust up in Saranac Lake. So again, the hills outside of the Mohawk Valley are seeing the highest wind gusts so far. Temperatures this morning in the 40s and 50s. It's pushing near 60 out in the Finger Lakes area this morning, so quite an interesting sight there. The radar right now is dry, at least locally, but we have a few scattered rain showers moving their way back in again, and heavy rain from there's that front right there, moving its way eastward. You see some snow on the back side of that front there. So it's damp out there, but really no travel impacts if you're heading out early this morning. A different story between roughly 8 and 9 a.m. That's when that heavy rain moves in. On top of that, the big drop in temperature going from the 50s down into the 20s, wind chills in the teens tonight. So we have a pretty busy day ahead. We're going to time it hour by hour and go over the impacts pretty much across the area. Who sees the most snow? Everything you need to know for your Friday and weekend forecast straight ahead. Callahan.
All right, thank you, Eric. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning, the board of Kennedy Center
News Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to News Channel 2 at sunrise on this Friday morning. Your GPO Federal Credit Union photo of the day takes us to Woodgate. A great shot here. I was requesting more photos of snowmen, or at least any type of, you name it, types snow sculpture here. And so far, well, hold on. It looks like I don't have it enabled here. 1 second. Bear with me here. My technology is not working this morning. But either way, the snowman here is something that I picked out too, because for those of you who are Buffalo Bills fans, you might like it. So now, back to the photo here. Again, apologies for the technology here. Here we go. Look at this snowman. Sent in to us by Karen on White Lake. This was again in the Woodgate area here. And amazing Buffalo Bills snowman right here. If you have a photo like this you'd like to send to us, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Callahan?
All right. Some Herkimer County High
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Busy day ahead of us, so let's just jump right into it. We have some light rain on and off throughout the area so far this morning. A bit damp outside as well. Live look at downtown Utica. Temperatures today going to be cooling down rather quickly from the 50s down into the 30s. Wind chills in the teens by 5 and 6 p.m. So quite a drop in conditions throughout the day today. On top of that, the winds will be primarily between 35 and 45 mile per hour winds gusting from the south, mainly impacting the areas in purple here. Notice you've got a bit of a weakening in those winds in the Mohawk Valley, but that'll be a different story as we head throughout the afternoon as the wind shifts to the west, and pretty much all of central New York will be included with some strong wind gusts between, again, 35 and 45 miles an hour. The winds weaken overnight, return again a little bit on Saturday, but of course this is not going to be anywhere near as impactful. The cold front itself sweeps through in the morning hours today. Once that passes, we're going to see that dip in the temperature, but notice that cold blast doesn't last too long. It'll exit. Things will quiet down by Saturdays. It's not a multi-day event here we're tracking, but let's go hour by hour. First, this is what's going on right now. On and off rain. By 8:30 to 9 a.m., there's the front moving in. Heavy rain, maybe rumble of thunder, strong winds. The back side of it, we're going to head into, say, 10, 11 o'clock, wet snow. It might still remain as a sleety rain mix in the valleys, but hilltops might see that wet snow really start to come down. But again, with wet surfaces, it takes a while for that snow to accumulate. So we're not expecting a whole lot of accumulation from this. Then that passes through, brief dry period in the late morning and early afternoon between, I would say, maybe 11 a.m. and 1 o'clock. Then we're going to see that wind really kick in, a round of snow showers around 2 to 3 o'clock, and then lake effect to our north, which will sweep south throughout the overnight hours, so it will mainly impact areas in the North Country. Following that, we're going to see some lake effect kick in on Sunday, but Saturday, though, is looking pretty quiet with some peaks of sunshine. So when it comes to snowfall, you can see here, this is a snowfall expected through Saturday morning. Again, the hilltops north still seeing the most amount of snow. And as we head into Sunday, we're going to see more lake effect impact areas north as well. So stay tuned for updates on that. Your 7-day forecast. So as I mentioned, it's going to be quieting down quickly on Saturday. Sunday, some lake effect. That'll impact the Mohawk Valley in the evening hours north earlier in the day. And then some light snow from a clipper on Tuesday, hovering in the low 30s toward Christmas time. So our thoughts still stand. It's not a major warmer cool down. It's going to be right around the freezing point for Christmas Day. And it might be a white Christmas for some people with the snow we're going to see on Tuesday. So
For me, that sounds quite perfect for Christmas.
Not impactful snow, which is the great news. You're not driving anywhere and it's 6 feet of snow, so that's I guess a plus.
All right, thanks, Eric. All right, the time is now 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Callahan Marshall here with meteorologist Eric Gage. So a couple things we should touch on. Tie down anything you're afraid that might blow away.
Yes, that's the thing.
It's going to rain and it's going to snow, so prepare for that.
Yeah, so basically weather has no idea what it wants, or at least Mother Nature has no idea what she wants to do today. It's going to be quite a different story this evening compared to this morning. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. First off, a live look at the wind speeds. This is not gusts, just wind speed so far. Sustained winds of 22 miles an hour in Syracuse, 24 in Ithaca, 14 in Hamilton, and 18 in Rome. Now, as we factor in the wind gusts here, I mean, we were looking at some higher gusts as high as 51 miles an hour in Watertown, 36 miles an hour in Syracuse, 33 Hamilton. So it depends on location. Now, the high wind warnings are in effect for Lewis and Jefferson counties up north. We're not expected outside of those counties to see those 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, but as high as 50 mile per hour wind gusts are possible, especially south of the Mohawk Valley early today. So we look at the temperatures right now. I want to focus on one zone here. So we see these warmer temperatures out in the Finger Lakes, but notice there's a green and then there's blue. And you see Buffalo right there. There's the front right there. 57 Dansville, 41 Buffalo. It's on the way. It's currently in western New York right now, and it's slowly approaching. For now, though, rainfall not really that heavy, but we can see that front sweeping through now the Rochester area in a few moments, and eventually in the backside of it, as you can see there, we got some snow showers working in. So for now, conditions not too bad outside, still a bit wet, and a lot of snowmelt still taking place right now as temperatures peak in the 50s this morning. And that's about as warm as we get. We're going to cool down quickly into the 30s, eventually 20s this evening with some strong winds from the west and some snow showers to track. We're going to break it down hour by hour coming up in a few minutes. Callahan?
All right, Eric, thank you. And don't forget the storm tracker more than 10 minutes away. New this morning.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:10 on this Friday morning. Happy Friday. Today's weather story, well, it's already incredibly warm out there so far in the upper 40s, nearing 50 degrees, but that's about as warm as it's going to get. We'll have a look at what you can expect across the area in your forecast in a minute. Currently 48, east-southeast wind of 18 miles an hour. It feels a little bit cooler at 41, but either way, it is a warm start to your day no matter what. Lots of thawing taking place across the area right now, but as we head throughout the day, that's going to change rather quickly. We look at the radar, things are quiet right now to our west. We're going to start to see that rainfall beginning to move in from that strong cold front, and that's going to produce some travel impacts, some heavy rain and wind. This takes place between 8 and 9 a.m. this morning. I'm thinking more closer to 8:30 to 9 a.m. in the Utica-Rome area. Now, this afternoon, there's some scattered snow showers. It's windy. Impact's not that high, but those of you up north this evening, lake effect sets up. That band will sweep south overnight, but then it quiets down as we head into Saturday. So this is mainly just a today type scenario. Either way, look at this. We're approaching 50 this morning, down to 30 by 5 p.m. And then, of course, the winds pick up, and we could see some additional lake effect. So we'll talk about that snowfall, the rain, the winds, everything you need to know throughout the day coming up in a couple of minutes. Callahan?
The Assemblyman in the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Friday. Today we are tracking a big change in the weather pattern after a very warm start. But a lot to get through. Let's start out first the view of downtown Utica. Wet roadways, some scattered rain showers, snowmelt taking place right now. So a bit damp early this morning and a bit mild too. Temperatures in the 50s, cooling down into the 30s and 20s tonight with wind chills falling into the teens by 5 and 6 p.m. So quite a difference. You might need a rain jacket this morning and a winter jacket this evening. So, of course, this is one of those days where it actually cools down throughout the morning. So let's first talk wind gusts, and we got some pretty significant ones, especially south of the Mohawk Valley early today. Wind gusts between 35 and 45 miles an hour. Then as we head throughout the afternoon, we see a bit of a break. The winds pick up again, this time from the west, and this will impact the Mohawk Valley between, again, 35 and 45 mile per hour wind gusts. Then the winds will weaken a little bit before turning slightly Saturday, but again, these winds will not be as impactful. So the bigger picture shows that front sweeping through the cold air mass behind it, producing some lake effect and some snow showers, but that cold recedes as quickly as it arrives, which is why our thoughts are for this system is going to not really affect us aside for maybe a single day. But let's just time it out here in the Skycast. So again, 6:30 this morning. This is a look at the rain. It begins to pick up a lot, especially by 8 and 9 a.m. here. There's that line, that cold front, the heavy rain, and some wet snow starting to mix in. Now, because of wet surfaces, it's going to be hard for that snow to stick. So, yes, we're going to see wet snow on the backside of this front, but not a whole lot of accumulations are expected. Quiet period between 11 and 1. Then by 2 o'clock, another round of snow showers. And then we're going to see lake effect set up north of the Mohawk Valley by 5 p.m. north of Boonville, sweeping into the Boonville-Camden area by 8 p.m. And then overnight, it's going to sweep its way into the Mohawk Valley, producing some light accumulations before fading away Saturday morning. Saturday, a few clouds, relatively quiet, highs in the 30s. And then we're going to see Sunday's weather starting out with some snow showers, lake effect north by 9 a.m., sweeping south as we head into the evening hours. By 6:30, it's in the Mohawk Valley. So when it comes to snowfall for today, as you can see here, a lot of that snow sticking in the Tug Hill area in northern Herkimer County. The rest of us, maybe 1 to 4 inches of snow by the end of this. Of course, obviously, valley locations will be seeing a whole lot less. And a reminder, this will end by Saturday, some lake effect on Sunday. And then as we head into Tuesday, some light snow chances. Christmas Eve, 31 with cloudy skies. And then light sprinkles potentially moving in late Christmas Day. So I feel like we're going to have an opportunity for a white Christmas this year. It might not be a lot of snow, especially all the snow we've seen melt, but I think the pattern is favorable for at least maybe a light dusting at minimum.
A nice little snow globe effect going on, kind of maybe in
yes,
Christmas.
that's the best part. It's just some light snow, a little cold, not bitter cold. That's the best Christmas.
Yep, exactly. Thanks, Eric. All right, be sure to like. Good morning, and thank you for joining us at this half hour. I'm Callahan Marshall in for Gary this morning. Let's take a look at the weather for this half hour. Now, Eric, we've got a lot of wind coming, we've got snow coming, we've got some rain coming. It's like a mixed bag today.
Yeah, pretty much everything but the kitchen sink today. And it's starting out with wind and rain, then switching over to wind and snow. Let's dive into it here. First off, let's start out with the winds. Now, it's pretty gusty, especially in the hills south of the Mohawk Valley. A shout out to you, Callahan, for mentioning that Glens Falls is calm this morning. The only spot in pretty much all of New York State's looking pretty calm. Everywhere else, 24 miles an hour Rochester, 24 Ithaca. We head into the wind gust category, and it's even higher. Saranac Lake, 44 miles an hour, 51 mile per hour Watertown, 31 Hamilton, 43 miles per hour in Rochester. So there's some pretty strong south wind gusts early today. That, of course, is supplying us with some warm south air. You can see here 52 Hamilton, 48 in Rome. The radar right now showing a few scattered light showers, but the big story is to our west. Look at this right here. There's that front moving in. That is a very sharp line of rainfall and some, so far no thunder, but still that's a possibility. And the back side of it, we got some snow working its way in too. So for right now today, if you're heading out early this morning, you will beat the rain. However, between roughly 8:30 and 9 a.m. today, that heavy rain is going to roll its way through, and temperatures are going to go quickly from the 40s and 50s down into the 30s and 20s tonight. So we have a lot to talk about today. We'll break this all down hour by hour coming up in a couple of minutes. Callahan?
All right, Eric, thank you. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning.
Happy Friday. Our photo of the day today on this Friday takes us to Woodgate, and a great photo sent in to us by a snowman who I believe is a fan of a very popular team here in our area. The Buffalo Bills, sent in by Karen on White Lake. So amazing shot of this adorable Bills fan snowman here. If you have a photo like this one showcasing maybe your football team's snowman or just anything like this little guy right here, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Your photo of the day every morning, brought to you by GPO Federal Credit Union. So today we are starting out in the 40s and 50s. Rainfall not as widespread right now, but there is that front on the way. We're diving into the timing, impacts, everything you need to know heading out the door this morning, coming up in just a few minutes. Callahan?
All right, love that Buffalo Bills.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. A warm start to your day today, but we have a pretty active stretch of weather for the next 12 or so hours. Let's dive right into it. First off, a live look at downtown Utica. We have some damp conditions out there. Obviously, snow melt, a few light rain showers. Rainfall not really that busy right now, but that'll be a different story as we head throughout the day today. So our warmest time of the day is actually this morning between now and 9 a.m. Then that cold front moves through and we cool down quickly. Wind chills into temperatures into the 30s and 20s. Wind chills into the teens by 5 and 6 a.m. So grab that light jacket this morning, but keep that winter jacket with you. Maybe bring it with you into work today, because when you leave work, a much different story. Wind speeds this morning between 35 and 45 mile per hour gusts, mainly south of Mohawk Valley and north of Mohawk Valley. Basically the areas as you see here in purple. Then the winds weaken a little bit, return again, this time from the west as we head into this evening into the overnight. Wind gusts still expected to be between 35 and 45 miles an hour. The winds will weaken as we head into Saturday. So the bigger picture shows that massive cold front sweeping across the northeast. On the backside of it, we got wet snow and eventually some lake effect that'll sweep through briefly. But, keyword briefly, that will exit and we do dry up rather quickly throughout the day Saturday. So let's time this out here. First, let's begin with this morning's scattered light rain showers at around the 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning mark. Between 8:30 and 9, there's that front right here. Heavy rain, maybe a rumble of thunder. For now, no thunder reported just yet, but the strength of the system could produce it. Then, with the heavy rain and wind, you start to see some wet snow beginning to form, and it will produce wet snow across the area. We're not thinking a lot of accumulation from this because, of course, wet roads and some warm surfaces. It's difficult for snow to accumulate, especially in the back sides of these systems. But still, snowfall can be coming down pretty good. We quiet down a little bit in the early afternoon, but before you know it, by around 2:30, we have another round of snow showers, and then eventually lake effect north of Boonville, heading toward northern Hennepin County by 8 p.m., and then sweeping south into the valley overnight through midnight and 1 a.m. Then it quiets down Saturday. Lingering lake effect flurries end, cloudy skies work in, but overall temperature is not too bad. Then Sunday, lake effect returns north of us in the morning. Then it will sweep south into the Mohawk Valley throughout the evening and into the overnight. So in terms of snowfall accumulation for today, as you can see here, a lot of that snow focused mainly in the hills of Tug Hill and the Adirondacks. Meanwhile, the rest of us, by the end of it, might even see 1 to 4 inches of snow on the ground. But it's been difficult for that snow to really accumulate for this time of year with these warmer temperatures working its way in. First day of winter, lake effect snow Sunday, and then some light snow Tuesday as we enter Christmas time into the mid-30s. So we could see some light snow on the ground just in time for Christmas, but we're not expecting any major snow or major travel impacts, at least following today. So,
Good. Love to hear it. All right. Thanks, Eric. All right. So let me see.
With Steve McMurray.
And good Friday afternoon to you. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary this afternoon. Chances are you heard it. You might have even felt it. Very strong wind, which is causing some power outages in our viewing area. We're going to head straight to meteorologist Eric Gage, though, right now to see what the rest of the day has in store. And we were talking right before we came on the air. Early this morning in 7:30, 8 o'clock range, it was in the mid-50s. Now we're in the low 30s, and it's going to drop even more. So what is happening?
Yeah, so right now we're in this bit of a quiet period. Well, I mean, some of us might be seeing some snowfall. Matter of fact, let's take a look at where that snow is right now. Here's a look across the state on the Mesonet camera networks. Notice the grass turned green. We had a lot of snow melt, but now, of course, seeing those grassy surfaces starting to get coated again with that snowfall. Now, as we take a look at the radar, we have almost entirely all snow showers across pretty much all of central New York. That cold air has worked in, but the winds have been pretty quiet for the most part here locally. But take a look to the west of us. 29-mile-per-hour sustained wind in Buffalo, 36 miles per hour in Rochester. The wind gusts are even higher. 52 miles an hour Rochester, 52 Buffalo. Those winds are heading our way. We're not thinking to be that high, but still the winds are going to be strong from the west. Now, yes, we started out in the 50s and 40s. We're down into the 30s right now. And something else to monitor, too, with all this rainfall we've been seeing. Sequoia Creek is another lookout zone here with the potential for that rainfall to get close to some of the marker there right now. So we're monitoring that, as well as, of course, all the snow and wind. We'll, of course, have the details, more information on the arrival time of these winds and what follows that lake effect snow coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. We will check in with you then. Well, that wind knocked out power to thousands of central New Yorkers this morning. The latest numbers as of noontime. Oneida County with about 269 folks without power. Herkimer 89, Otsego County with 337, and Madison County reporting 573. Now at 9 o'clock this morning, the numbers in Madison County were in the thousands, nearing 2,500. Also, we should let you know that the Lewis County Sheriff's Office has issued a travel advisory for all of Lewis County until further notice due to high winds and rain, and eventually, as Eric said, snow. Well, check out this video here sent in by a viewer, James Beck. This is of a dumpster rolling through the intersection on Commercial Drive in New Hartford. Beck stated that he wanted to stop the dumpster from rolling into traffic and drove into it with his car to stop it. He claims this dumpster came from the Chipotle parking lot across the street, headed toward 7 Brew. Again, that was on Commercial Drive. That's how windy it was this morning. Those dumpsters are not light. Well, the former corrections officer convicted in the
WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. We are continuing to track this large and strong cold front moving through the area. The backside of this front, as you mentioned, would be producing some wet snow, and sure enough, a live look at our Nexus Center camera here. We got some big flakes falling in downtown Utica. Not a lot of accumulation in the city right now. Temperatures hovering right around the freezing point, but a different story as you head north. This is a live look at Barneveld and in Boonville, and you can see here the roads getting pretty snow covered up north. And as you head farther south in the valleys, again, roads are relatively okay, but it's that fine line as you head up in those higher elevations, the difference right here. So if you're heading up north this afternoon, just watch out for some slick roadways. So right now, we are looking at this widespread snow, but for example, if you're watching from Camden right now, the snow has ended. That wall of snow is exiting to our east. It will be ending shortly. And eventually, we're going to be in a bit of a dry slot before more snow develops this afternoon, and then more lake effect snow arrives tonight. First, let's talk temperatures. We're already in the 30s now. We started out near 50 this morning. We're cooling down to the 20s tonight. The wind chills will make it feel like the teens, potentially near single digits. So it's going to feel bitterly cold tonight. When it comes to winds, we're in a bit of a quiet period right now, but the winds are going to start picking up from the west. And they're going to be pretty strong, between 35 and 45 miles an hour across the area. So there could be some more concern for outages again, like there were already this morning. Now, by the overnight hours early tomorrow, the winds will weaken. Lake effect snow ends. Overall looks more on the quiet side. So let's piece it all together here in the Skycast. Here's what's happening right now. Between roughly 12:30 and 2 to 2:30, we've got this dry period right here. Then from 2:30, you can see here that snow moving its way back in again. That'll set the stage for lake effect, which will initially take place on the strong side in Lewis County, mainly in Tug Hill, and that band is going to sweep south overnight. This is a snapshot at 1 a.m. and eventually sets up in the Paris Hill area near Secoit, and then eventually weakening as we head into Saturday morning with that light lake effect shifting north and more clouds working in. Then Sunday, we're going to see the arrival of more lake effect. Starting out north at 9 a.m., heading through Boonville between 9 and noon, and eventually in northern United County, sweeping south by the 6:30 hour. So let's talk snowfall accumulation. As you can see here, because of how warm the valleys are, you notice some of these colors here in the valley not producing a whole lot of snow. The highest totals will be near Tug Hill, higher elevations in the Adirondacks. This is for the snowfall today. Then for Sunday, we're going to add a little bit more to that snowpack. We're going to be climbing, at least in Tug Hill area, some spots near over a foot of snow up there. But you can see here the dark blue zones north of the Mohawk Valley. We'll see between 4 to 7 inches by the end of this. Obviously a little bit higher as that snow band sweeps south Sunday evening and eventually Sunday night. Your 7-day forecast. Following the first day of winter with that lake effect Sunday, it's quieting down Monday. Light snow from the Clipper Tuesday, making it a good shot of seeing at least a white Christmas, maybe a dusting of snow minimum in a lot of spots, because we're going to warm up throughout Christmas Day, but at least in the morning, I think it's supportive of that snow really still sticking on the ground.
All right, so Santa may have to make his way through some snowflakes. And,
yeah, you might have to do that.
And landing on white roofs. All right, got it. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, turning now to the holiday travel. And time now for a first look at the forecast in this half hour. Eric is back, and we've seen a little bit of everything today.
Yeah.
It was like mid-spring this morning, and then and up on the hill, the flakes started a little while ago, and they're like that.
They're huge, yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, and here we are, and sure enough, as soon as we're talking now, the snow is starting to end.
There you go.
So here we are. We're now in a quieter period right now. Probably about 2 minutes ago, these are some heavy flakes moving through the Mohawk Valley. And as we were mentioning, this was going to stop within the hour, and sure enough, it is slowly ending right now. So we take a look at the current radar. Of course, as you can see here, we've got some heavy snow still pushing through the Mohawk Valley. It will continue to end as the afternoon continues on. But we are tracking to the west the arrival of more snow showers, some narrow bands of snow, so not as widespread, not as steady, and won't be as heavy too. The snow will be more typical and less wet. Either way, the winds are going to return. See that right there, 35-mile-per-hour winds in Rochester, 52-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Buffalo, and appears to be 49 in Rochester. But still, those temperatures continue to fall. We were approaching near 50 this morning. Look at that, we're already at 32 degrees across the Mohawk Valley. So the next 12 hours, we're going to continue to cool down into the low 20s, wind chills into the teens and single digits. We'll have the details, more hour-by-hour forecast on what to expect for snow and for wind coming up in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. The Assemblyman in the
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, happy Friday. Already a busy day here in the Weather Center with all this wind, rain, and eventual snow. And just like that, the snow has ended here in Utica. Taking a live look out in downtown Utica from the Nexus Center. As expected, surfaces in the valleys were just too warm and wet for any snow to really stick in on the roadways. It was a different story as you head up north to Barneveld and Boonville. But again, the crews are hard at work this afternoon. The roads are getting plowed and treated. And as you can see here, much improved, especially in Boonville and especially out in Barneveld. So, but again, as you head into the valley locations, it's still a little bit too warm. That will not be the case as we head into tonight and early tomorrow morning, but mainly tonight. We see here on the radar that heavy snow is exiting, still impacting, say, Little Falls, exiting Herkimer right now. The overall pattern is going to be quieting down with another round of snow moving through the area between roughly 2 and 3 o'clock. That's going to drop the temperatures even more, down into the 20s by 9 and 10 o'clock tonight. Feels like temperatures in the teens and single digits. So make sure you find ways to bundle up, because this evening, definitely not as warm as last night and this morning. So wind speeds or wind gusts right now are quieting down, thankfully, but we're in the eye of the storm. The back side of this front is going to move through, and the winds are going to pick up again, this time from the west. And this time, the Mohawk Valley isn't nearly as sheltered. We're going to see those winds peaking between 35 and 45 miles an hour. And the strongest winds will be between 9 and midnight tonight. Then the winds will weaken, strengthen again in the hilltops south of the valley tomorrow afternoon. But again, that's really not as impactful as what we're seeing today. So timing it out, that widespread snow is exiting to our east. A bit of a lull briefly before that snow returns in the form of a few scattered snow showers. Then lake effect really starts to kick in around Tug Hill at 5 p.m. and that band will slowly sweep south, 8 p.m., impacting Boonville, Camden, northern Oneida County, and watch as it continues to sweep its way south overnight, impacting the Utica area at around midnight. That band will stay south of the valley, weaken to a few flurries Saturday morning. Meantime, sunshine and chilly temperatures north, 7 degrees you can see there in Old Forge. But we warm up quickly into the upper 20s to low 30s with cloudy skies, mostly cloudy skies at least, and quieter weather. Then a secondary front moves in Sunday. Lake effect sets up north in the morning, sweeping south in the afternoon, and hitting the Mohawk Valley as we head into the evening around 6, 7 o'clock. Right around sunset. So just watch out for some slick roads Sunday evening if you're driving anywhere. So in terms of measurable snowfall, because of the warm temperatures we saw earlier this morning in the wet roads, you see the valley really missing out a lot of that accumulating snow. But you can see following that, we have more snow on the way for areas north Tug Hill, and continuing beyond that through sections of the Adirondacks, and even more expected as we head into Sunday. So by the end of the weekend, the snowfall totals for this entire event, you can see right here, will be roughly a bit higher up north, the dark blue zones 4 to 7, 2 to 4 in the light blue zones. 7-day forecast. First day of winter arrives. That lake effect, it quiets down Monday, and so far some light snow on Tuesday, producing a nice coating of snow just in time for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
And in case you missed it yesterday, snowmobile season is not open down in the southern zone, which is, basically a little bit around Utica and south. But Old Forge and up Tug Hill, they've been open for a while, so they are embracing
for sure.
4, 8, 10 inches at a cliff. They love it.
This snowpack is so healthy.
Slopes up, they love it. So, to each his own, and we should have a white Christmas as of right now.
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office...
Unbelievable, and that's kind of wind that's a little bit scary out there.
Yeah, the fastest wind speed recorded locally, 45 miles an hour at Griffiths, and that was just before 9 o'clock this morning. We had a lot of places that saw wind gusts in the 40s today. Live looking downtown Utica, things are looking pretty quiet. It is looking better. We're expecting a few scattered snow showers here as we head into tonight. This is going to drop in from the north, and so we're not done with snow. We do have to watch the temperature here because as we continue to fall below freezing, there will be some icy spots that develop here overnight. 31 degrees at Griffiths and Rome, a west wind at 25 miles an hour. It's windy, it's cold tonight. We will see some light snow accumulate, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. And as we head into the weekend, the weather is looking seasonably cold. We're expecting temperatures to drop down into the 20s tonight with snow showers. Again, a cold start to the weekend. We have more chances for snow as we look ahead. Look at the forecast is coming up. Kristen, back to you.
It's been 375 days since Robert Brooks.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A big change in the weather today is expected. We are going to continue to fall below freezing this evening. Watch out for black ice on untreated surfaces. Let's take a live look in downtown Utica. The roads are wet. The roads that are treated will be fine, but it's the sidewalks, parking lots, driveways that you've got to watch out for, and secondary roads. As we continue to fall below freezing, any wet surfaces will turn icy. And again, this is happening now and will continue to happen this evening as the winds continue to be quite strong out there. In fact, look at the latest wind gusts, 37 miles an hour at Griffith and Rome, 59 miles an hour in Watertown. Again, lots of wind across the state. The winds will stay this way throughout this evening and then gradually diminish as we head into tonight. In a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we're starting to see snow develop off of Lake Ontario. This band of lake effect snow will slowly drift south and weaken as we head into tonight. And it does bring us some overnight snow before coming to an end very early Saturday. A few flurries around Saturday morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day. Temperatures will be in the mid-30s. We are tracking lake effect snow Sunday. And we are expecting some accumulation, especially in and south of the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures look to climb into the low 30s. Tomorrow, the winds, again, not quite as strong, but again, it will be a cold day. Temperatures in the low 30s, wind chills in the upper 20s. We are below freezing this evening, so again, any standing water is in the process of freezing. Dolgeville 30, Little Falls 32, Westmoreland 30. Sherburne 30 degrees, Oneonta 27, Cooperstown 30. A far cry from the 50s that we saw earlier today. Officially 54 degrees at Griffith and Rome, missing the record high by just a couple of degrees. Bigger picture shows that cold front now moving to the east. Behind it, lake effect snow showers. Tonight, the snow is fairly light but widespread. We're thinking a general 1 to 3 inches expected north of Utica. From Utica southward, a trace to an inch. So again, just enough to coat the ground as we head into Saturday morning. Again, those bands will be dropping southward and weakening throughout the course of tonight. So again, expect widespread, generally light snow. Saturday, cloudy skies. A few flurries are possible in the morning. Otherwise, it's a cloudy day. Temperatures climb into the low 30s. Saturday night, the weather looks cloudy. Heading into Sunday, our next round of lake effect snow develops. This will be dropping southward throughout the day and producing an inch or two of accumulation throughout Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening across the Mohawk and Southern valleys before coming to an end. Snow showers tonight, low temperature of 21. Tomorrow, snow showers come to an end. Cloudy, temperatures in the low 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. So again, lake effect snow showers Sunday 34. Monday, colder, 28 for the high, mostly cloudy. Widespread light snow Tuesday. That should set the stage for a white Christmas. We should get enough snowfall on Tuesday where it will stick around. Temperatures remain in the 30s, although we may be tracking some rain the day after Christmas.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
It's been 4 years since the Utica.
Yeah, we're tracking some black ice tonight. Just a reminder, things can be very, very slippery on untreated surfaces. It starts with bridges and overpasses. They tend to freeze faster because the air can go beneath the bridge as well as above it. But this is, again, more of a concern on sidewalks, driveways, and parking lots, as a lot of the main roads are going to be well treated by now. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking some snow dropping in from the north. We do expect some accumulation here tonight, an inch or two for most areas. Temperatures will stay seasonably cold. We'll be in the low 30s, and this will keep the snow around for those of you that still have it, which is most of us. If you don't have very much snow, we have chances ahead both tonight, Sunday, as well as Tuesday. So the odds do favor most of central New York for a white Christmas. If you're taking the dog out for a walk, temperatures will be in the upper 20s. It is chilly and it is windy out there. And again, watch your footing. Tonight's featured dog is Bentley from Utica. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Bentley with his binky. Every year,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. As expected, big changes in the weather today. We are continuing to watch the temperature fall below freezing. That is going to set the stage for black ice. Let's take a live look at Oneonta. 27 degrees. Again, being in the 50s, and then following that with temperatures below freezing, all that snow melt is going to have the potential of turning to ice. The only thing that would stop that from happening is if surfaces are treated. So again, main roads are going to be okay. Side roads, not so much. Sidewalks, driveways, parking lots, those are the things to watch tonight. Watch out, watch your footing, because again, these conditions are not looking great. Black ice is not only probable but imminent here as we continue to see temperatures fall this evening. Look at the latest wind gusts, 37 miles an hour at Griffith and Rome, 59 in Watertown. The higher elevations in the Adirondacks saw some really strong winds. Lake Placid had a gust of 76 miles an hour, and some of the higher elevations in the Adirondack Mountains were close to 100 miles an hour. So incredible. Again, that's all the wind in the higher part of the atmosphere that didn't quite make it down to the surface. A wind gust at Griffith and Rome of 45 miles an hour. That actually is a better representation of the wind that many of us experienced here in central New York. So it's certainly enough to cause issues and some minor problems here, but not the strongest winds we've seen this year. So you look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Lake effect snow continues to develop off of Lake Ontario, and the winds tonight favor the North Country, but the winds will be changing late tonight. That band is expected to drop south and blanketing most of central New York with an inch or two of snowfall by Saturday morning. Lake effect snow will come to an end early Saturday, cloudy skies, maybe a few flurries in the morning, 34. Lake effect snow returns Sunday, temperatures climb into the mid-30s. This warm weather is going to help aid in pothole formation, and that's because water as it goes into the cracks will freeze tonight, and that's one of the key ingredients that starts to break down roads, especially as we add traffic to that. This freeze-thaw cycle does a number on the roads, and now that we've fallen below freezing, I think that process will slow down, but unfortunately, it will eventually return. Clinton, Bob with 28 degrees, Helen and Cassville 28, Donna, Norway 26, Stewart and Cooperstown 29. Lake effect snow showers again moving into our region, into the region tonight, an inch or two of accumulation overnight. Those bands will be dropping southward. Temperatures drop down into the low 20s and teens by tomorrow morning. It's cloudy for Saturday. Temperatures generally staying near freezing into the low 30s. Saturday night, the weather remains cloudy. On Sunday, lake effect snow drops in from the north. Many of us will pick up an inch or two of accumulation, especially in and south of the Mohawk Valley. Snow showers tonight, low of 21. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Winter solstice is officially here Sunday, which means the days will be slowly getting brighter moving forward. Monday's high 28. Widespread light snow Tuesday. Temperatures in the low 30s will be in the mid-30s with pretty quiet weather heading into Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be right back.
With Kristen Copeland and Jason Pallas.
Wicked winds and the ingredients for black ice, that's what we're dealing with right now.
And Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking it all from the Weather Center tonight. Bill, good evening.
Yeah, that's right. It was a very warm start to the day, but with this big drop in temperature and all that melting snow, it is setting the stage for a freeze tonight, and it's on untreated surfaces that we have to be careful. Sidewalks, driveways, parking lots, those things in particular. I think the main roads are going to be fine. They've been well treated by now, but again, if you're going to be out and about walking, just keep that in mind. We're not done with snow yet. We are tracking the next round that's developing off of Lake Ontario. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. That snow is going to drop southward and blanket most of central New York with an inch or two of fluff here tonight. Current temperature 30 degrees, west wind at 21 miles an hour. The peak wind today at Griffiths, 45 miles an hour. Again, some icy spots expected overnight. A cloudy start to the weekend. We're tracking additional snow both Sunday as well as Tuesday of next week. Relatively active weather pattern. Snow showers will be developing this evening. Temperatures in the 20s. Again, tracking a cold, seasonably cold weekend. A look at the forecasts coming up. Back over to you.
In a surprising announcement very late this afternoon.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. What a day weather-wise. Starting out in the 50s this morning, we saw that plunge temperature-wise. That cold front came through with a lot of wind and rain and snow on the back end, and now things are starting to settle down. But just because things are quieting down, don't let your guard down. The biggest concern over the next few hours is black ice. I think it could be very problematic here as we continue to fall below freezing. This is a live look in downtown Utica. Temperatures continue to fall below freezing. It's still windy out there. Wind gusts 30, 40 miles an hour. The strongest wind gusts locally at Griffiths and Rome was measured at 45 miles an hour. Lake Placid had a wind gust of 76 miles an hour. That was at a weather station 2,000 feet above sea level, so a higher elevation. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking snow. The next round of lake effect is developing off of Lake Ontario. The wind direction is going to carry this southward, so many of us will be seeing a light coating of snow tonight. This will come to an end early Saturday, a temperature of 34 degrees, cloudy skies. Next round of snow is on Sunday, lake effect snow, temperatures in the 30s. Again, be very careful tonight on sidewalks, driveways, parking lots. We're expecting widespread black ice. And again, this is going to be problematic through tomorrow morning. Skywatchers checking in. 31 in New Hartford, Helen and Cassville 28, Barneveld 29, Donna Norway 26, Eric and Inlet 25 degrees, Westford, Dave checking in with 30. This cold front moving through today, again, producing a lot of wind and a sharp drop in temperature and setting this stage for lake effect snow. And tonight it's expected to accumulate to about 1 to 3 inches north of the Mohawk Valley. In the Mohawk Valley and Southern Valleys, a coating of snow is expected overnight. And again, that band drops southward throughout this evening and into tonight, but it does weaken. By tomorrow morning, cloudy skies, just a couple of flurries in the morning time. In the afternoon, it's cloudy. Temperatures climb into the low 30s. The weather looks relatively quiet Saturday night. Lake effect snow develops Sunday, and it's similar to tonight, moving from north to south, but again, at a slower clip. This is expected to produce a few more inches of snow throughout Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Snow showers tonight, low of 21. Tomorrow, looking at cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We're tracking, again, lake effect snow on Sunday, 34. It remains windy and cold Monday, 28. Widespread snow is expected Tuesday, temperatures in the low 30s. And for Christmas, looking at temperatures in the mid-30s and dry weather. Some rain is possible the day after Christmas. We'll be right back.
Cast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. What do we got here?
Old Forge, they're getting some lake effect snow tonight.
Oh, what kind of, how much are they getting?
Well, it's a couple of inches, but I mean, this is like, this shows you how little the thaw ended up
Didn't really touch
affecting
much of
Old Forge. Yeah, so if you're looking to do some winter sports, that is a great place to go. There are a lot of places that didn't lose their snow. The one exception being the lower elevations of the Mohawk Valley. We actually did see green grass today for a little while. But the snow is back. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's dropping south tonight. We're only expecting an inch or two of accumulation of very fluffy snowfall. But again, this is going to be enough to coat the ground. Probably enough we're going to have to do some very light shoveling first thing tomorrow morning. Current temperature 28 degrees. The band of snow has not arrived yet at Griffiths, but it will. Lake effect snow tonight, dry Saturday. We're tracking more lake effect snow on Sunday. Forecast for tonight, again, snow showers, temperatures in the low 20s. Looks like a pretty nice weekend, the last weekend before Christmas. We're taking a look at how next week is shaping up. Look at the forecast coming up. James, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's been 375 days since Robert Brooks was approved.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Things look pretty quiet across the Mohawk Valley, but it is a different story to the north where some lake effect snow is falling. The winds are gusty tonight. That's been a theme here for most of the night. Latest wind gusts out of Rome, 37 miles an hour. Watertown, 48. Syracuse, 43. We saw peak winds today at 45 miles an hour. So it's actually been pretty close tonight in terms of the intensity of the wind. Look at all this lake effect snow that has returned. And we're actually looking at a couple of bands. One to the south, this is from Lake Erie affecting Shenango, Otsego County, from the Route 20 corridor and pointing south. And then we have the band off of Ontario, which is affecting northern Oneida County, Boonville, Old Forge, producing some locally heavy snow. This band is on the move, so a quick couple of inches of accumulation is expected tonight. before that lake effect snow diminishes. And we actually could be seeing some flurries first thing tomorrow morning from this too. Otherwise, it's a cloudy afternoon, temperatures in the low 30s. Lake effect snow returns Sunday, temperatures climb into the low 30s. Watch out for icy spots because we've fallen below freezing after being above freezing earlier today. There's a lot of black ice out there. I don't think this is going anywhere anytime soon. It does look like it could be pretty slippery here through tomorrow morning at the very least. Tomorrow, or I should say Sunday, marks the winter solstice. It is the darkest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, but this specific point represents when the sun is directly overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn. Folks that don't live in central New York often call this the first day of winter, but around here, winter just acts differently, right? The good news about all this is that going forward, the days are going to be getting brighter. It's a slow process, but we will be turning the corner here beginning Sunday. Radar and satellite image, again, showing lake effect snow. That's going to be the name, the thing to watch tonight. And an inch or two of accumulation north of the Mohawk Valley. I think this accumulates just about everywhere, but it's fairly light in the Mohawk and Southern Valleys. Again, the bands will be weakening tonight. A couple of flurries first thing tomorrow. It's a cloudy day. Temperatures climb into the low 30s. We will be tracking lake effect snow Sunday, and this is a similar setup. The winds start out westerly and then drop into the Mohawk Valley as the winds turn northwesterly throughout the day. It's going to be a process, but looks like additional snow in the order of about 2 to 4 inches heading into Sunday afternoon. Snow showers tonight, low of 21. Tomorrow, cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Monday, it's chilly, a high of 28. Widespread snow Tuesday, 34. The stage is set for a white Christmas around here. I really don't think it's going to be a problem for most of us. Temperatures will be in the 30s Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, thank you, sir. Coming up next, the suspect in the beach as well, Bill.
Yeah.
We had some heavy winds today, from rain to snow, and look, Old Forge.
Yeah, we're back over
to
to snow here. There's some lake effect snow that's happening to the north that's going to be dropping southward. So a lot of us will get blanketed with a light snowfall tonight. Many areas thinking about 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Some heavier totals to the north, but those are going to be pretty isolated. It's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, and you can see that band is dropping south. Many of us will see some light snow overnight. We'll get a break tomorrow, and then more snow arrives on Sunday. Cloudy skies this evening, a current temperature of 27 degrees. Lake effect snow continues tonight. Looks dry on Saturday. More snow is expected Sunday. Tonight, overnight lows drop down into the low 20s. Again, lake effect snow. We're taking a look at how the weather shapes up for Christmas week. Look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It's been 375 days since Robert.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Welcome back. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. The weather looks quiet in the Mohawk Valley for now. We are tracking this band of lake effect snow that will be dropping southward over the next several hours, bringing widespread steady snow to a good portion of central New York. And the winds are going to continue. We just saw wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour, so we're not quite done with the wind, but it will diminish as we head into tonight, and it becomes lighter on Saturday. Cloudy skies Saturday, a few flurries in the morning, temperatures in the low 30s. On Sunday, we're tracking some lake effect snow. That could give us a couple of inches of accumulation, especially across the Mohawk Valley. Temperatures climb into the low 30s. Watch out for patchy black ice tonight. Temperatures went from above freezing to below freezing, and it could still be slippery out there overnight. Sunday is the winter solstice, officially kicking off winter. It is when the sun's rays are directly overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn. It's also the darkest day of the year. Radar and satellite image showing a cold front rolling through today. We are expecting some snow overnight, 1 to 3 inches from the Mohawk Valley and points north. This band of lake effect snow will drop south. It does weaken overnight, just a few flurries around Saturday morning. It's a cloudy afternoon. Temperatures climb into the low 30s. The next round of snow arrives Sunday. It's also lake effect. Just like today, it starts across the North Country and then it drops southward. At this point, it looks like a general 2 to 5 inches of accumulation across the Mohawk Valley for Sunday afternoon. Snow showers tonight, low of 21. Tomorrow, looking at cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 30s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Again, looking at colder weather as we head into Monday. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s. Widespread light snow on Tuesday, followed by Well, pretty quiet weather heading towards Christmas. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. You have a good weekend, and you as well. But don't go anywhere. Sports